As Monster Hunter World is getting popular again, today we would like to share some tips that might be useful for people who are just starting out. Doesn't matter if you are a returning player or completely new, if you are starting a fresh save in Monster Hunter World right now, you will be able to choose whether you want to start the game with Guardian Armor set or not. And at the beginning of the game, you will be able to craft any defender weapon of your choosing with just 1 iron ore and 300 zenny. These armors and weapons are indeed very powerful. The raw stats are way superior compared to any other weapons and armor in low rank and high rank. You will be able to breeze through the entirety of low rank and high rank with just the Guardian Armor set and upgrading your defender weapon few times. Plus, you won't have to grind or worry about collecting gems or materials. On top of that, you will also have a very high survivability due to its raw base stats and skills. So does that mean we all should go for these sets? Not necessarily. Personally, I would say if you are a complete beginner to Monster Hunter series, you might want to try playing without the Guardian Armor and defender weapon. Try to experiment and familiarize yourself with the system and gameplay. Monster Hunter World has some difficult and annoying fights, especially for beginners, but the feeling of slowly progressing your armor and weapon and getting gradually stronger with each upgrade is the main charm of the game. So if you use Guardian Armor and defender weapon straight away, you might be doing a disservice to yourself. Because once you get to master rank, you may or may not find the difficulty spike too much to handle. Of course, if you feel the game is too difficult for you, and you cannot progress no matter what, then feel free to use the Guardian Armor set and defender weapon to help you out a bit. Then, once you are familiar with how the game plays, you can go back to using regular armors and weapons. However, if you are a returning player or someone coming from other Monster Hunter games, or someone who is migrating from console to PC, the Guardian Armors and defender weapons are there to help you quickly reach Iceborne. Moving on to the next one, somewhere in the middle of the base game's main story mission, the Provision Stockpile will start selling power charms and armor charms. These two items provide a flat attack and armor increase if you hold them in your inventory. I would recommend you to purchase both of these charms as soon as possible. You might want to grind some easy and quick optional quests since the power charm will cost you 36,000 zenny, while the armor charm will cost you a bit less at 24,000 zenny. Be sure to keep these two charms in your inventory for the rest of the game. Later on, when you are in high rank, you will encounter the lovely Beetlejuice. You can hunt this annoying bugger for its talent, which can be combined with power charm and armor charm to make power talent and armor talent. These two items will provide an even bigger attack and defense boost. The effect of these two talents also stack with the charms, which means you should buy a new pair of charms from the same vendor once you have crafted the power talent and armor talent. Then say goodbye to 4 of your inventory slots for the rest of the game, since from now on, you should keep these 4 items in your inventory at all times. Okay Oti, what about you? Any cool tips you would like to share?
Sure, I have a couple more nice and simple tips for you all first-timers out there. Number 3 is weapon. Monster Hunter Worlds offer a wide option of weapons you can pick. Of course, start with the weapon you feel it's cool to use or fit to your play style. You can try them in the training area and then move on to hunt low-rank monsters for real combat experience. Generally, if you prefer melee and bludgeoning your opponents until they submit, you can pick great swords, insect glaive, hammer, or longsword. But if you prefer to attack them from afar, from safe range, heavy bowgun offers a nice range and different playstyle compared to melee. They can also inflict status ailments like sleep or bless, and you can do it from a safe range. If you play with your friends, sword and shields or hunting horn is a good support weapon. Sword and shields can consume items very quickly, so can clutch save your teammates, while hunting horn has incredible buffs while also still inflicting significant damage. Then obviously always be prepared. Some monsters can be challenging to specific weapons, especially if you are new to Monster Hunter franchise. Therefore, it is best to be prepared in your upcoming hunt. We can start by checking the weakness of the monster and adjust our gear accordingly. You can farm the mats from the previous stage if you need to craft the weapon and gear. Aside from that, it is a good practice to always fully stock up on your potions and buffs like Demon Drug, Might Pill, Armor Skin, Adamant Pill, Demon Powder, and Dash Juice. Check the environment also, whether you need to bring hot drink or cool drink. Some monsters are immune to certain traps, so make sure you bring the right trap to capture them. And of course, don't forget about Mega Barrel Bomb to make things easier for you, and Tranquil Bomb to capture them for more materials. You can utilize the loadout and save it to prepare yourself in many situations and to replenish your inventory so you don't have to manually arrange them one by one.
Alright, those are all some pretty nice tips for beginners, but now let's talk a bit more about the combat mechanic. Well, if you played Monster Hunter World long enough, you will notice that most of the monsters likes to move. A lot. Wallbanging is a good way to create an opening for you and your teammate to dish out tons of damage. To do this, you will need to do the flinch shot on the monster's head while they are not enraged. Doing so on the other monster parts will not send them flying, so you can only flinch shot on their head. But do not clutch blindly or you will get sent flying most of the time. Wait for the monster opening to clutch, preferably when it's facing something that you can bang it into, such as a wall, rocks, or another monster. You can make the monster face another way. However, this drains a good chunk of your stamina and you cannot do this too often, since it will enrage the monster as well. Doing the flinch shot on a non-enraged flying monster will also send it stumbling down. The icon will turn from yellow to red if the monster is in an enraged state. If you happen to time it correctly and the monster is still not enraged after your first wall bang, you can do it again, creating a second big opening for you and your teammates. And also, wearing a rocksteady mantle or a temporal mantle is a good way to prevent any interruption during clutching to a monster. Now you have banged the monster to the wall, what else can you do to create another big DC opening? That's right, it's time to mount them. Mounting in Monster Hunter World is quite simple. Any attack you do while you are off the ground will mostly trigger a mount damage. You can do this by sprinting to the edge of the cliffs, any uneven terrains, or you can sprint to the climbable wall or by doing any sliding jump attacks. Once you hit the threshold, you will automatically mount the monster. Doing this will prevent the monster to do most of their troublesome movesets, and it will lead to a knockdown if you manage to stay mounted long enough. Once you are mounted, you will have to move around to the other body parts, or you can also hold on, but moving will generally cost a small amount of stamina to avoid getting knocked down.
Okay, I suppose that will be it for now. If you find this video helpful, please give us a like and consider subscribing. See you in Astera and happy hunting!